What's going on, folks? I'm sure you guys all know exactly what this is. This is Fly 533's Tiny Trainer, Evan Turner. I mean, everything about it is top-notch quality, good parts, good motors, good ESC, good flight controller, good antenna. Matter of fact, the antenna that came with my kit was some stubby little guy. I had to put a different one on there because the lead wasn't long enough for this to come out the back. It's got a decent VTX in it. It's got a good camera. It flies great. It's 3-inch propellers. I love flying it. It's kind of heavy for a 3-inch when you put these 550 R-Line 3S 95C packs in. So it will throw. It will huck really well. So you give it power and you let off the throttle. It's just going to just keep going up. So if you're full throttle climb and you just pull the throttle off, it's going to keep on climbing. If you go half inverted or half flip it, it'll fly backwards, upside down, and just coast in the air. Its huckability is amazing. This thing's fun to freestyle, and it's fun to try to race it. I'm not a great racer by any means. I suck at it, actually, but it's still fun to try to go through the gates. This one happens to have a tracer on it, a little diversity tracer, which it really didn't need it, but it's what I had at the time. It's got the full LED package. This is the kits when Evan Turner was on the Legends of FPV at Get FPV. I think it was like $249. And then a couple little upgrades. But I've had a lot of fun with this guy. The other day, Bardwell, well, I should say about 3 weeks ago, Bardwell put a video out, and he'd mentioned this guy right here. This is from Darwin FPV. It's over in China. I didn't know where they were out of. I didn't know anything about the company. But Bardwell says, it's a nice little drone. But get rid of the camera that's on it because it sucks. And he's right. What they did is they took the cheapest little security camera they could find, and then they printed a 3D housing, and then they hot glued it in, and they put some nuts on the side so you can put some screws in it. And literally, it's garbage, guys. Has nothing good about it. The field of view is really narrow. It's like looking through a straw trying to fly around. It's not fun. So for $18 more, they'll send you the Caddx Ant, which it's a decent camera. It's not the best camera. It's not as good as this one. Can't remember which one they sent in the kit, but this is way nicer than this camera. Low light, everything is better. But anyways, I'm not dogging. This thing is $69. I paid $250 in a kit. I had to buy upgrades. This one, I did upgrade the antenna because I had a single little dipole antenna. And I bought these on closeout for like $4.99 at Get FPV. And I put an ELRS receiver on it. It's an EP1. And I learned how to do all that with the wireless binding and learned the whole ecosystem. I went from a black and white XD9 or X9D to the new TX16S. So I'm getting used to everything. How to make models and the whole nine. But this is kind of like what I put it on. There's some downsides to this thing. The motors, they're not very nice. But it flies well. I mean, literally, you can take off and hover, no sticks, and it will just hover in the air, and it may drift just slightly a little bit. This thing's locked in. And it was $69 when I paid for it, I think they're $89 now. But they were $69. And if you want the Ant, it's going to cost you, get the Pro model anyways. But yeah, this video signal from this Axie 2 antenna makes it great. It's only 200 milliwatts, but this thing gets hot. If you plug it in, you should be ready to fly. It's got little LEDs, and you go forward, it's white. These in the back are red. Go left, those side blink. Go right, this side blink. You go back, the back blinks. You go forward, the front blinks. So I'm going to see what it takes to reprogram those LEDs. I don't know. There's also some kind of OCD menu. So they're using something like Brain FPV, where they broadcast Darwin FPV on a splash screen of the OSD. So they've got some kind of custom OSD. I don't know what their flight controller is. It's not Beta FPV. I think they had something called Raven FPV, but it didn't match the specs on this one, this little AIO. So I think what they've done is, since they're in China, They went around and sourced out the least expensive stuff that they could have made to what they want to do. And instead of using brand name stuff from other companies, they make all their own gear. And then they can offer it really cheap because they're not paying money to a middleman. They're going directly to the source for everything. But this little Baby Ape, guys, it flies nice. It's not as heavy. I don't say it's half the weight, but it's 2/3 the weight of the Tiny Trainer. And if you use a small battery, this will run on 2-cell. You know, it's floaty, you know. But if you put a bigger pack on it, like this 550 R-Line, it hooks pretty good. Doesn't hook like the Tiny Trainer, but it hooks pretty good for what it is. You know, it'll do building dives. You can watch, I think, well, Bot Grinder did a dive or something the other day with his, and there's been a couple other people review these. One thing I don't like is there's drilled holes in the motor bell, but they don't line up with the prop holes. Like this one fastens right in. This one doesn't. So it's press fit props. So if you hit a branch, it's going to spin this prop off and you're going to fall. You hit the wall, it could spin your prop off. You hit whatever, it's going to spin your prop off. So that's lame as far as I'm concerned, to have a press fit prop in 2021. That's the only thing I can really just flat out gripe about in this quad. So what'll happen is when these motors take a shit or I break one motor, we're putting Tiny Trainer motors on it. This is never going to be as rugged as a Tiny Trainer. And I also don't like the way that the USB comes out the bottom. So you can't get it flat if you want to set your ACC. But 250 bucks, 69 bucks is what I paid. But I also, you know, I upgraded this antenna and I put on a tracer, which that was like $29 or whatever for the tracer. This is $13 for the receiver and $5 for the antenna. $18 for the camera. So this is a great value, guys, if you want something fun to play with. And I'll probably try to do some DVR footage for you and see how it flies. But just wanted to point out a few things that if you can't afford a Tiny Trainer, which I think you should be able to if you save your pennies, get this first. This is amazing. Then if you just want something to play with, something new, something different, something cheap, check out the Baby Ape 3 and see what you think. All right, guys, we'll see you.